Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Young Entrepreneurs of the World. Joining us now is Coy Griffin. Coy is the founder and CEO of Your Own Creativity, and she's going to speak to us about technology empowering the creative industry. And we're looking forward to her presentation and her remarks. Coy, thanks for joining us again. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me. So today I will be discussing technology empowering the creative industry. Just to give you a quick background about me, I'm Coy. I am a fashion technologist, analyst, educator, and author, as well as a TEDx speaker. My primary function is within fashion technology, and I own a fashion technology consulting company where we help small to mid-sized fashion brands learn how to use a variety of technologies to grow their business. I've been featured in Blavity. I've done work with Nike and Black Girls Code, as well as taught at the London College of Fashion and Virginia State University. There we go. So what is creative technology? So essentially, it's the latest innovations within the creative industry. So this can include creating new fabrics or 3D printing or developing super immersive augmented reality experiences, or even just creating new experiences with any new technologies as they come. So there are three different types of creative technology that we're going to discover today. So first is augmented reality. Next is digital garments and experiences. And lastly is analytics. So augmented reality, right? So you've seen it if you've ever used an Instagram or Snapchat filter, and it's essentially a computer generated effect over your camera. So these effects can be used to create new experiences for brands. So if you're a fashion brand, you can use it to create wearable sunglasses or like use your brand logo onto faces. Now, let's say you're a creative who just creates these really cool environments. You can develop filters that can really show an environment with like the generative image on top. So let's say you wanted your environment to be like cold. If it's cold or snowy, you can create a snow filter to really embody that. So with augmented reality, you can really develop anything that you want as long as you're just using your own creativity. And a really cool statistic is that it's estimated that 100 million consumers will shop in augmented reality online and in store. So not only are you creating these cool experiences, people are expecting to use it within online and in store, which is going to create a lot of job opportunities within the market. Next is digital garments, right? So these digital garments are visual representation of clothing using various computer generated software. This software is a specific 3D software where you can see the fabric movement, the texture of the clothing, etc. What's really cool about this software, not only can you use it to create clothes, you can also make the clothes super custom to a specific body measurement. Now, let's say you're a creative that wants to go outside of fashion. You can also create these 3D experiences within like backgrounds or logos, as you see here. So these 3D softwares are really cool for you to really bring any idea that you have in your mind to life before it hits production. Some of the benefits of digital garments or 3D clothing is you can determine the color, fabric, and texture and really play around with it until you perfect it. And then you can send those images as well as the production images to a manufacturer to have it produced with the same exact specifications. So if you are a designer and you're interested in creating these physical garments, but you don't really know what you want to create or develop, you can try the 3D route and develop the garments using 3D and really test out different textures and fabrications before it hits production. So this is saving you a lot of time with the sample process or going into the store, looking at different fabrics and not being sure how you want your creation to be made. You can just use technology to help you with that. And this generative design software is expected to be a 44.5 billion market by 2030. So this is definitely a growing market. And as a creative, it's something that you should consider learning. Next is analytics. Analytics is super important for any creative brand, right? It's very important to track your customer. It's important to understanding what people like, what type of content you're creating for all of you content creators. It's super important to understand how your analytics, such as your likes, comments, shares, or saves, how they are performing. Once you identify how your analytics are performing via your content, or whether it's a different, whether it's your website, then you can determine how you want to reach your customers. So big data analytics really helps brands understand their marketing activities and finding the best products to market. So as a creative, it's super essential for you to, one, identify what type of content and marketing activities you want your customer to experience, and then track those experiences to see if you're reaching those goals. And as a creative, if you don't understand analytics, luckily you can start with social media, right? Just looking at the number of likes, looking at the number of saves or comments, and that can tell you how people are engaging with your content. And based from Forrester research, it's found that while 74% of retailers want to be data-driven, only 29% are able to connect analytics to action. So it's showing that a lot of companies want to use data, right? They just don't know how. So as a creative, it will be to your advantage to really understand how data is being used and how you can incorporate it into your business. Now let's deep dive into the fun stuff. Now I'm going to show you the examples of creative technologies. So first we will walk through Gucci and Roblox, Balenciaga, and lastly, Dior's wearable filter. So Gucci did a collaboration with the company Roblox, right? What made this super cool is that Gucci is known for their physical handbags and or their luxury garments. So by collaborating with Roblox, which is a gaming platform, also they have their own metaverse, Gucci is able to really transform their physical garments into the digital world and reach a new audience that may have not been familiar with their brand. So what made Gucci super, this collaboration super special is that, one, they identified a tech partner and the right tech partner, right? So they identified Roblox as their perfect partner because that's where the Gen Z audience is. And that's a place where they haven't really put a lot of marketing into their brand. So one, they're able to reach a new audience. And two, with Roblox, you can create an entire new experience, right? So if you see the pictures, you can see that there were special Gucci skims that they're used on their avatars, but then look at the details of the experience in the background. If you look at the green leaves and the couches, etc., there is a developer that helped bring these ideas to life. So as a creative, you can be a person that's actually creating these new immersive experiences in Roblox or any other gaming platform. One thing that's really cool for Gucci that they did for this collaboration is that they used it to celebrate a milestone. So they didn't just use this experience just to test out the market, but they used it to really celebrate something huge. So it was Gucci celebrating their past collections and tying it into the present. So the present meaning like the metaverse and reaching that new audience. So it's a really cool way for a brand to introduce their items to a new audience, which is Gen Z. And just to emphasize, the other main point was they wanted to reach the new audience, where Roblox already has 42 million users, right? And the users could spend $1 to $9 on collectible and limited edition Gucci accessories. So for their young Gen Z users who may not afford or have a Gucci handbag, they're getting introduced to Gucci via Roblox as a luxury brand. And when they are ready to make those purchases in the later years, they already know the brand. So entering this creative marketing and using like new experiences not only helps market your brand to consumers, but it starts the conversation for the new Gen Z consumers who may not be familiar with the brand. So for any creatives who are looking forward or looking to enter this market, just know there are so many opportunities where you can be creating new experiences for luxury brands like Gucci or more. Next is the Balenciaga's 3D jacket, right? So this jacket is really cool because portions of the jackets were actually 3D printed to create that new silhouette that you're seeing on the waist. So Balenciaga is known for incorporating cool technologies into their brand, but this jacket is special because it's one of their best sellers and it's shown in different textures every season. So what Balenciaga did is that they scanned these 3D bodies to alter the shape, right? So they used the 3D software to alter and test out different shapes until they created the mold for this jacket. Then they used, the regular production style to overlay the mold. So what's super cool about incorporating new technologies like 3D printing and more is that you can create these new tailored signature garments that no one has ever seen before. So you can really test out things that you typically cannot create with a typical sewing machine or traditional methods. Technology really allows you to explore and test the limit. Next is Dior's wearable filter. So as I stated earlier, we are all using filters on Instagram, Snapchat, etc. But as a brand, you can actually create wearable filters so people can experience and really interact with those filters. So Dior did this by creating a filter where you can virtually try on their shoes. As a creative, you can build these filters for a variety of brands. And here are a list of a variety of different filters. So not all filters have to be something that's like wearable in order for it to be interactive. So in the first filter, you see the background is giving you kind of like a safari, it's green, and is really showing like a specific brand experience. Then you have like the filter with the roses, which is similar to like Valentine's Day, you're creating that experience. And if you're a foodie like me, you can create filters with food or really creating entire campaigns with a filter that people can interact with. So filters are not just exclusive to one type of brand. They can be used all throughout. As long as you use your creative insights or just your creative knowledge, you can develop a filter for basically everything. So why is this important, right? It's important because this industry is meant to be worth $3 trillion by the end of the decade, right? And that's just the fashion sector. So imagine all of the other creative opportunities that are out there where you could get started. So how do you get started? I listed a few creative tech careers that you may have not thought of, but that does incorporate that creative aspect as well as the latest technology. And a lot of these careers are growing and are very in demand, especially with the conversations happening with the metaverse and video games. People are looking for these careers. So first is the video game designers. Video game designers, they design everything that you see in a video game, and it's an in-demand position. Next is multimedia artist or animator. So you can even create the cool animations that you see in Disney or even the other related experiences. We also have the 3D designer, which is related to the garments that I showed earlier. A product designer. So let's say you don't want to develop all of the cool experiences that people are experiencing, but you would prefer to develop a product. You can work with a team to develop a really cool product that might create an experience or help people get immersive to it. So for example, you can be a product designer for a VR headset, etc. Augmented reality designers. Augmented reality designers are the people that will create those filters that you may experience on Instagram or Snapchat. And then we have a UX designer, so you can create really cool web pages. And lastly, this is a role that I am seeing a lot, and it's the metaverse project manager. So if you aren't familiar with the metaverse, it's essentially an incorporation of like augmented reality, virtual reality, and a variety of different elements, but it's like its own mini world. So in order to create these worlds, you need a project manager or someone who's really developing what this world will look like, how the customers will experience this world. So metaverse project manager is in a huge demand right now, especially that there are a lot of brands competing to be the #1 metaverse platform. So my name is Coy Griffin, and I am the owner of Your Own Creativity. You can find more information about me and my company at the DYOC.com. And you can also check out our Instagram to learn more and see some of the cool projects we have produced. Thank you everyone for having me.
Thank you, Coy. Wow, that was fascinating. My wife is a fashion studying fashion design, and I actually said you have to come in here and listen.
Yes.
Quick, come in here and listen. This is she's unbelievable. Wow, digital garments. You had a stat up $45 billion generative software market by 2030. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Pretty impressive as it goes. How about from a training standpoint? How about, when you think of the creativity side, but then blending in the technology part, what kind of challenges do you see coming from that?
Yeah. Definitely, I think universities and schools are now starting to implement new programs that are reaching like the 3D, teaching you how to create these 3D garments or these augmented reality experiences. So there are programs out there, but there definitely needs to be more because this industry is changing. So like just this year alone, the word metaverse has been Googled more than anything. So with that, we need to ensure that the universities or like whichever courses you are taking are keeping up and are talking about what's going on in the industry now. So for those who want to get started within, for example, the digital garments, you can start by figuring out what the top softwares are. And usually the top softwares already have like learning tutorials and entire libraries to help you get started. So for anyone interested in digital garments and creating those 3D visualizations that I've shown, you can check out CLO 3D. It's spelled CLO 3D, and they have a ton of tutorials. And if you are a student, you can have a student discount.
Terrific. How about you had some amazing brands in your presentation as well. How have they been embracing the kind of shift here?
Yes. Yeah, so a lot of the luxury brands, they're kind of testing the market right now. So they're partnering with technology companies who have experience with very specific projects. So like if they have experience with augmented reality or 3D, et cetera. And they're using it to test, like, as you've seen the Gucci and Roblox collection, like these very special projects that can get the attention that you need in order to bring people to this experience or reach a new audience for that celebration. One of the biggest factors in order for brands to succeed with a cool like creative tech or fashion tech project is that they need great PR, one, and two, they also need to make sure that the experience is seamless. So what makes Roblox such a great platform or a great partner is that they already have the audience and their audience knows how to use the platform. So there's not a big learning gap there. But for new platforms, if they want to really collaborate with these larger tech brands or these larger fashion brands, they need to make sure that one, the new users don't have to sign up, or if they have to sign up, it's super easy to do, that the technology is running, or you don't need like a super advanced computer to use. So I find since this market is still growing, a lot of brands are really partnering with companies that are more established within it versus like testing it out with smaller tech partners.
Yeah, makes sense. Virtual runways one day. I imagine.
Yes, they're out.
Yeah. And well, it's interesting, and you kind of bring up, and we had Steve Hoffman, Captain Hoff, on earlier, and he was talking about how the development of platforms are so very important, and no better example than your industry and the items you've been talking with us this afternoon about.
Yes.
Just terrific. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. What a wonderful presentation. What merging the two worlds together.
Yes.
It strikes me as the sky is the limit.
It really is. Thank you for having me.
No, wonderful job. How can people get in touch with you?
Yes, you can follow my company at Your Own Creativity. So it's spelled just the way it sounds, Your Own Creativity, or you can subscribe to our website, THEYOC.com.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you next time as well.
Yes, thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.